Hi, greetings. This is just a quick tutorial on some basic Chrome tips and tricks that are great for conferences sessions and or full day PD sessions if you're an attendee at one or both. So for what we're going to be doing is just talking about Chrome in general. And Chrome is, when it's in your dock, whether you're on a Mac or a PC, it looks just like this. I'm going to go ahead and launch this one and show you the different kinds of browsers. So what a browser is just that it's the thing that connects you to the internet. And so way back in the 90s, we had an Internet Explorer as our browser that connected us to the internet. And then we got Firefox a few years later. And then as we started getting Apple devices, Safari came and became more prominent. And lately, we've had Chrome. And Chrome is what we're going to be using today. So all of the things I'm showing you are specific to Chrome. You may not find them in these other three browsers. So if you don't have Chrome on your device, you're welcome to download it for free. Just make sure that you're going to an actual Google site where you're downloading it, and you can download it to any device. For instance, I'm on a Mac right now, and I am in Chrome. I use Chrome actually instead of Safari for my Mac. All right, so a couple of things about Chrome. Back in the 90s when we had these Internet Explorer buttons, we used to have these huge blocks of windows down at the bottom of our screen. And each window would open up a different website. Well, now we've taken all those windows and we've brought them up into tabs at the top here. So you're seeing that each of these tabs is a different website. And in fact, it gives us a little information so that we don't have to keep going through the tabs to figure out which is which. So for this one, I'm in a Google search for browsers. Here I'm on a Google Doc, and I know that because Google Docs are a little blue icon, and it tells me what it is. And here I'm on a yellow Google Slideshow. It's a yellow icon, and it tells me what it is as well. To open a brand new tab in Chrome, there's always going to be a little half tab guy on the right-hand side. So I can just click on that one, and it'll launch a Google page for me, and that's what I have as my default page when something launches. To close a tab, I'm going to click on the X at the right-hand corner. You'll notice that each of these have an X. So I just click on that one, and it closes. So I can open a tab, and I can close a tab. And if you're not careful, many of us find that we end up having 30 tabs open by the end of the day. So when I'm at a conference and I'm learning a whole bunch of things about one thing, I usually do end up having 15 tabs open. For instance, I'm really, really excited about Google Maps right now. And so I have 15, 20 tabs open when I go to a Google Maps session. And so I'll have the slideshow from the presenter, and then of course the presenter is giving me all sorts of fun resources and things. Well, I'm going to want to bookmark these for later. I don't want to have to go find them again, and I don't want to have to go into my history to look for them because I've searched all sorts of other history types of things. So in Chrome, you'll notice that I have a bookmark bar on the bottom right underneath my Omni URL box, or what Chrome calls an Omni box. So these are all bookmarks. And if you don't see your bookmark bar, or if you don't have it enabled, you're just going to go to your three dots right here. And then you're going to go down to bookmarks, and you're just going to make sure that this show bookmarks bar is in fact checked. So once it is, you most likely do have some bookmarks here, but if you don't have any bookmarks, don't fret. We'll get you some in just a little bit. Many of us, so in order to bookmark a site, you're just going to click on we're going to wish upon a star is what you're going to do. And you're just going to click on the star, and that will bring us right into a bookmark added. So when I click done here, you'll notice I don't see it anywhere on here. And that's because many of us, when we click on this little caret guy on the right-hand side, have about 1,000 bookmarks going down, right? So here's my slideshow that I had saved. I can easily drag it up here if I wanted to put it on the bookmark bar, and I'll do that. But you'll notice that I left the title really long, and you're noticing that I don't have much real estate up here on the bookmark bar. So I can always right-click on any of my bookmarks, click Edit, and I can call this Chrome Prez, and keep it a lot smaller so it doesn't take up so much room so much real estate even on my bookmarks bar. You'll notice that I have a few over here that I don't have any language for, and that's because I don't need to describe it. I know the icon well. For instance, on Drive, I know that's the Drive icon. I don't need to write the word Drive. Twitter's the same thing. Gmail, same thing. So what I've done here, if I go to edit this particular bookmark, I've left the name blank. And when I leave the name blank, it just gives me the icon. So that actually even helps even more real estate on the bookmark bar if you know the icon well and don't have to name it itself. All right, there's a couple of other things that you're noticing on my bookmark bar, and that is that I have things in folders. So I have a lot of times, I like to organize my bookmarks, and you can organize them into folders. And so what I'd like to do here is go ahead and create a folder for anything that has to do with Chrome or anything about this presentation. So anywhere in between any of these bookmarks, I can right click. So I'm just going to take my cursor in between these guys and right click, and I'm going to add a folder. I'm going to call my folder Chrome. Chrome. I'll keep it as Chrome. And you'll notice again that it went down over here on my little caret. So I'm going to drag it right up here so it's on top because I want it close. Now I can actually drag my Chrome presentation into my Chrome folder and let it go. And when I do that now, my Chrome presentation's in the Chrome folder. So let's say I have another particular web page that I want to save into my Chrome folder. So I'll actually just go to the Chrome web browser where I could download. If I didn't have Chrome, I could download it. I'm going to go ahead and save this. Now that I've already got the folder, and I don't want to save it to the bookmark bar, I want to save it to the folder. So I'm going to click my star, and it's already noticing that since the last thing I saved, it was my Chrome folder, it's going to put it in Chrome. Now, if I didn't want it to go in Chrome, I would change it to go to either right on the bookmarks bar or one of my other folders that I have on my bookmarks bar. But I'm going to keep it at Chrome, click done. And so now I'll see that I should have two resources, my presentation and this particular website. So if as I'm going through any sort of a conference session, I can add all of the resources from one session or another into folders. And then when I'm, going over everything the next day or the next week or the next month or the next year, I can just go to my folder and look at all the resources that I had gathered from that. Another thing that's going to be really helpful is as I'm continuing to learn about that particular resource down the line, I can keep adding resources that I find to that folder as well. Now, there's some times when you just don't want something in your folder anymore. So if I don't want this website in my folder anymore, I don't need it anymore, or maybe it's obsolete at this point, I'm just going to right click on the resource and delete it. And now I like the little poof, and now it's gone. So I can add and I can take out anytime I want. This is really great, by the way, for students when they're doing a lot of research and they've got maybe 12 tabs open and across the board, and then the bell rings. If they want to save all of their tabs that they were working on into a folder, that folder is really easy to open the next day and continue working on their projects. Now, the last thing I want to show you today is to pin a tab. So a lot of times when I go to a full day PD session, the presenter, whoever I'm working with, will have some sort of an agenda that they're working from, whether it's a slideshow agenda or a doc agenda. And we go back to that agenda throughout the day because that particular presenter has most likely put resources and links on that agenda that they'd like for us to click and get. So one really great thing about Chrome as well is that you can pin a tab. So if I right click and right in the middle of this tab right here, if I right click, I can pin this tab. It moves over to the left-hand side, and you'll notice it doesn't give me an option to close it. So I won't accidentally close it. And so I can be in all of these other tabs for the rest of the day, working with whatever I'm going to be working on. But any time that my facilitator, my presenter, asks me to go back to the agenda, I can just click right here and know the agenda is here. Well, there's one caveat to this. It is pinning the tab. It's not pinning the website. So if I accidentally, while I'm in this tab, go to something else, like I'll look up the word dog in Google here. If I accidentally go there, now I've lost my agenda because I accidentally searched in that tab. So the tab is pinned, but the website wasn't. So just be aware of that. If I need to go back to my agenda, of course, I can just click the back sign and go right back to my agenda. So those are some tips and tricks that really we find helpful for when you're attending a conference and or a full day PD session, but also some tips and tricks just to make your browsing experience a little bit more efficient. We hope you'd enjoyed this, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great day.